Hello everyone, Dan Hendriksen here. Welcome to Woburn and welcome to the Titleist Performance Centre. Now I've been doing some fittings up here with Nick and we're going to move on to driver now. I love my TSi3. I think I've hit some great shots with it over the last sort of season with it, but I do get the odd shot which gets a little bit low in the spin. I feel like it gets a bit dippy out on the golf course and I'm starting to lose a little bit of confidence with it. So I've come up here today, have a chat with Nick, see if there's anything we can do with the driver that can maybe give me a little bit more spin, keep the ball in its flight a little bit better and try and get me a little bit more confidence with it. Don't forget, if you are new to the channel and you like what you're seeing from our videos, hit that subscribe button. But for now, let's go and catch up with Nick. Driver time.
Right, what do we got?
So, TSi3.
Yes.
I have got the Hazardous Smoke 6.0 in there.
Yep.
I've got it set in B2 setting.
Okay.
Which is...
9 degrees aloft, just slightly more upright.
Okay, so 9-degree head, yeah.
Yep.
And then I've got the setting on the rail on the back in neutral.
Right.
Absolutely love this driver.
Okay.
Came from the TS.
Yep.
Similar setup, similar
Sure.
shaft, everything pretty much the same, just moves straight into the TSi3.
Okay. I feel there's a butt coming.
There is a butt coming in the fact that I feel like I've got longer as the generations have gone on. So
Sure.
917 into
Yeah.
TS, notice a bit of a jump.
Yeah.
Then when I've gone into the TSi3,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've gained a bit more again.
Yep.
Now though,
Okay.
coming from TS3, where I was fairway finding all day long,
Sure. Yeah.
to a position now where I find the odd shot
Right.
gets a bit dippy. So I feel like I lose
Right.
spin. And when I've done my testing in the studio at home
Yeah.
on the quad,
Okay.
I can get a ball to get into the 1900
Okay,
revs,
quite low.
which for me is living life on the edge.
Yeah.
So what on the golf course, what we might see is a little dipper ball.
Sure.
So the ball just falls out of the air, turns over quite heavily, and then my dispersion really has started to drop off
Okay.
in recent times. So
All right.
what I've come up to today for is to test this
Sure. Yeah.
and to see if there's anything that you can do with it
Yeah.
to just keep the spin up a little bit more.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think that's quite a common conversation I have with golfers is that, you know, it's not necessarily a conversation about more distance, it's
Yeah.
about maybe more consistency, more stable, having something a bit more reliable so that they don't have that kind of, oh, is that one going to come where it dips out the sky?
Yeah.
So absolutely, we'll test this
Yeah.
and see what we can come up with.
Okay, perfect. That's not bad to start us out.
And so typically you find that you kind of get it nosediving out the air, yeah?
Yeah, so that would be
That's a good one for you.
that would be a good flight for me. Like that I would say that's kind of stock flight for nowadays.
Yeah.
But that strike was a little, I would say it's a little bit more centered.
Okay.
But my tendency is to get, as you can see from my irons, I can get a little bit in the toe.
Yeah, sure.
So
okay.
You could see that drop at the drop, couldn't you?
yeah, I mean,
Well, I mean, if you look at your swing numbers there, you
Yeah.
must have hit that in the toe for it to shape that way.
yeah,
Because it was rightward path with a fraction open face.
that's standard for me.
We
that.
just watched it move, go
Yeah.
right to left in the
yeah,
air.
so it's geared right to left.
Yeah, and so the spin therefore is obviously going to drop off. But it was still a good hit. I mean, you can see, you know, the efficiency of it.
Yeah.
You know, 102 miles an hour clubhead speed,
Yeah.
151 miles an hour ball speed, and you're not far off your maximum. There's an equation almost to a T.
Yeah.
If you times your club head speed by 2.75,
Yep.
you'll get what is roughly possible. And you look there, your total distance, 275.
275, yeah.
So,
Bang on.
I mean, I know that's only one hit, but you would argue that you've kind of, how do I put this? From a distance perspective, that shot was great, but from a consistency or playability kind of a shot, like, you know, how consistent, like it's bordering on low spin. We know it was a toe strike, so therefore if it was more middled, it would spin a little bit more,
Yeah.
and therefore you've kind of beyond optimized,
Yeah.
if you like.
Yeah.
So I suppose there's two sides to this, isn't it? If we were trying to fit you for just hit one long drive out of 20 golf balls,
Yeah.
it would be a different fit from, okay, Dan, you're going to play a game of golf. You're going to hit a driver off the first. You're going to go and play a par 3 next, short par 4. It could be 45 minutes before you pull driver out the bag again. So, you know, we want to be able to, similar with that iron conversation, take it out of the bag and just be like, this is going to work for me.
Yeah.
So.
So a bit more middle, similar, let's say probably a bit more inside. Face a smidgen open.
Yeah, so not too dissimilar.
Was it
I
not?
would, as you go and refer back to your comment there,
Yeah.
more middled. Basically, it just started right and kind of stayed there.
So what about path there? Was that a little bit
Path
more?
was a fraction. I mean, we're talking 2 degrees.
Yeah.
We're talking minimal.
Yeah.
And that one spun at 2900.
Yeah.
Obviously, it didn't run as far with that kind of spin rate.
No,
but
similar carry though.
yeah, 251 through the air. So yeah, similar to where you are.
So one thing I do want to say about this is that I've had this shaft now for probably, well, 2 generations now, so I had it in the TS.
Yeah.
And I do really like it. Like I feel it, as like when I pull on it, I feel like I've got, there's a bit of rigidness in it.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I've got something good to hold on to as I pull down on it.
Okay.
Which I know that this shaft is kind of designed for a little bit of that anyway.
I mean, similar to your irons, if you look through your bag and look at what you're using in your irons, it falls very much in line with that, that same kind of feel and how you like it to.
Yeah.
But in saying that, given that the miss is maybe a lower spinning miss, maybe there's something that we can try that still gives you that feel.
That's what it's about today, really, is finding something there.
Yeah, kind of make sure that we get
similar
something
feel, but maybe rev it up a smidgen, and that I don't know how, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why we're here to.
Well,
and what I would say is that, you know, certainly in the last few years, driving has been probably, well, it's a really good part of my game. Like, it's a strong part. Like, I will go to driver a lot.
yeah, you need a good reason not to hit driver off the tee.
Absolutely, yeah.
Good. I like that. I'm the same.
Yeah.
I enjoy hitting driver.
I just enjoy it because I'm not the longest in the world, so I need to. If I'm going to compete, I need to hit it.
Yeah,
I feel
sure.
anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was that last spin?
2000.
Was it?
So again, quite low.
Okay, so yeah, this is where we're. That was good.
24. Yeah. I mean, that was your longest carry.
Yeah.
And again, similar in total at 278. Let's just have a quick look through here.
So I've not adjusted since I've had it. I've never messed about with the rail at all.
Okay.
And I understand that if I might be more of those CG trackers where it starts to get it a little bit, if you move it into the toe a little bit.
All I've done is move it a touch toeward.
Yeah.
Okay, see if we can stabilise that a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm going to try putting you in Tensei white, which again is going to be similar feeling to that one.
Okay, good, yeah.
And we'll just try and explore a few options. So don't look at the hosel, just give this one a hit for me.
And I would say, like, the idea of this is not necessarily to become, hit it further.
Yeah, I would
just
argue
if I
this-
can get a ball that can be a little bit more stable in the air sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
On those tough days,
I say you want your spin rates to be as tight as possible.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if we can, exactly that, stabilize them, then. How did that feel?
Felt good. It felt a smidgen lighter, as in when I stood up to the ball and waggled the club a little bit.
Right. Okay.
It felt like it was a little bit lighter in the hands, but not uncomfortably lighter. Just it felt good. Completely different sound off the face.
Yeah.
Yeah, not as poppy off the
Right.
face, and maybe because we've moved the weight position more in the toe, maybe that's helped that bit. I'll change that.
That's a lovely flight there, Dan.
Yeah, that was good. It felt toey.
Okay.
But still
so with
solid.
that, yeah, something behind it. Again, 251, 273 total, spin rate 28. The previous one was 24.
Yeah. Is that it feels like possibly, is it launching a smidgen lower?
Launching at 11. Let's compare it to your own. Yeah, it's about a degree lower. Spin rate is up a little bit. Peak height is the same.
Yeah.
But on those two hits, it is staying in the air a little bit longer and ultimately a little bit further.
Again, just the spin holding it up there. Just
Yeah,
a fraction more.
we've just given you. I mean, numbers can be misleading, can't they?
Yeah.
As in, like, I could spin one at 3,000 and I could spin one at 2,000. Call it 2,500 in the middle, and you go, my average is great.
Yeah.
But that's not very tight, is it?
No, it's not.
So if we can hit, 24, 26 and be consistent in there, that's going to be a more playable driver.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when it comes, yeah, you're right. It feels like it's harder to bring back.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at those three shots there, they've all had a very stable ball flight.
Yeah.
None of them look like you're going to lose it left whatsoever.
No.
Yes, we've moved that CG track in the back, but I've also given you a shaft that's similar in that one. It's 65 grams in weight, but because we've moved this weight further away from, say, the hosel, it's going to want to twist more. So we need something that's still going to be nice and stable, so we don't get that kind of unwanted movement.
I like that, yeah.
I mean, again, those last three there, again, your spin rate is plus minus 150 RPM at the moment. Again, very consistent.
Yeah. Whereas the previous one, maybe that was jumping.
Oh, it was, yeah.
Oh, was it?
It definitely was a lot more closer to 300. So this is
And I would say what you're saying there is exactly what Lester and I see on the golf course.
Right, okay.
I can spend all day like lovely, and then one or two shots just go woof, and just never get going. They just dip.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so again, we just need to keep that a little bit more spin on it for that one that might just rear its head every now and again.
Can you aim a bit straighter?
Sorry?
Aim a bit straight with the pin.
Am I aiming right?
Oh, well, you're not moving it, are you? So.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. Bit heely. Felt heely. But again, look at that. That's what you want it to do as a heel, doesn't it?
Yeah, again,
kind of
just holding its shape. I mean, so Healy, spun a bit more at 3,000, flew 248 for 267. So on our averages, we lost 5 yards.
Yeah.
But
and do you know what? Actually, having when I get one like that, I want to see it spin up at 3,000.
Yeah.
Because it to me, that I feel like that's more forgiving than.
And I think you'd be worried, right, if it wasn't, because then you go, I have to flush this to keep this ball in the air.
Yeah.
Especially if I toe it or hit it high in the face, you've got no forgiveness.
Yeah, exactly.
Really nice.
Possibly the best one of the day.
The other adjustment I made, if you look at the hosel now, I've moved you from B2 to A1.
Yeah.
So rather than being slightly upright, which is, okay, maybe encouraging you to start it more in line, but maybe bringing in the left miss.
Yeah.
So again, just set up square, same loft, no manipulation one way or the other. And again, looking at those half a dozen shots we've just hit, I'd say that's the right setting for you. The ball flight has been very stable. That's the biggest drive we've hit today. 258 for 279 on some really good numbers. 2600 spin, launching at 12.
Yeah.
Great golf swing. Club head speed's even gone up a little bit,
Yeah.
so closer to 104 now. Ball speed at 154.
Is it lighter, the shaft?
It's not, so 65 versus 60, so it is a fraction.
It's fractionally heavier.
A fraction heavier. So.
And that's just, I suppose, the difference. Why am I going to feel a difference in that though? Is that because of the way in which the weight's positioned within the head of the shaft?
So potentially it's going to be firmer down in the tip section.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, again, feel's the one thing that I can't measure.
No,
It's going to be different for you and for me, for example.
Yeah.
All I can measure is the consistency of it.
Yeah.
And, just communicate that back to you and say, how does that feel? Because at the moment it's doing some really good things.
Yeah. And I don't know why, but just you saying something like the tip is maybe a fraction firmer.
Mm-hmm.
For me, that gives me a bit more confidence in controlling the face a little bit.
Yeah.
It feels like I can use my hands more when I want to use them, and
not be worried back of your mind thinking,
Correct.
is that one going to come
Yes.
when I don't want it?
Exactly, and that's really hard to explain on camera probably, but that's just more of a feel and a feel point of view for me. Yeah, it feels good.
We've definitely got less shape on the golf ball, haven't we?
Yeah, 100%.
There is definitely less curvature on there.
And is that common? Like when you're doing your fittings, is that common to see that a change in a feel, a change in which the shaft's going to work, can bring that dispersion down a little bit?
Yeah, I think going back to the original conversation, like when people say come to driver and we're fitting for driver, it's not like all of a sudden I'm going to give you 20 yards.
Yeah.
I just might give you something that's more consistent and more playable.
Yeah.
For example, if you're in the middle of every fairway, you're going to score better probably, aren't you, than I know I've got another drive in me that maybe I can get out there, but at the same time the bad one is it's a kind of low left and it's not very user friendly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, per golfer, if the golf ball spends more time going straight and curve and not so much curving, normally it's going to go further, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's sometimes it's not always the intended outcome, but it just happens to work that way. Launch angle very consistent there at 12, within half a degree. So I would suggest that we've improved that by half. So again, spin rate at 2600 on average, and the plus minus of 217, so basically drop anywhere between 2400 and 2800, kind of like what we alluded to a minute ago, very consistent. And it is flying on average higher than your current driver. Land angle is a little bit steeper at 37 versus 35, but it's staying in the air that bit longer at 254 and just running out a little bit further. Obviously total distance can change depending on the golf course and the conditions. But from what we can control, and going back to the initial conversation of you saying I've just got this one in me that I don't like and I want to avoid, I would say we've accomplished that. With those couple of changes.
You can see it in that one shot down there at 2000 revs. 2000
exactly.
revs. That to me, that's living life on a knife edge a little bit.
It is that one. Yeah, yes, the end total is great, but in terms of the forgiveness of that, the playability, it's not going to be that user friendly.
No, okay. So that's the one, isn't it?
I think that's ideally suited to yourself.
Yeah, it feels so much. It feels very similar to what I've got, which is good.
Good hit, Dan. Good hit.
Just try to tack that a bit more up, you know.
Very nice. Yeah, you launched that at 13.5, it spun at 2500, it flew 260 for 282, the longest drive we've hit this afternoon.
Yeah. Well, there you go, there's my fitting at Woburn. I actually made an outro for this video at Woburn. However, I just wanted to redo it because I've now had the opportunity to be out on the golf course with the shaft in that driver, and I have to say, the confidence is building with me, and that's what this fitting was all about. It was about finding a driver combination with the shaft that was going to perform for me, give me the numbers that I needed to be able to have the confidence to play with it in competition, play with it under pressure. It's so, so important that when you get fitted that you find something that's going to work for what you want to see from that club. But I'd like to hear what you think about that video. If you are new to this channel and you like what you're seeing, make sure you hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment. And we'll see you all again very soon.